What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about a mistake I made early on in my photography journey and show you how you can avoid doing the same thing. So this mistake that I made early on in my career is something that I see a lot of newer photographers kind of do, especially when you're trying to fit into certain trends or think you need to edit a specific way or have your photos look a specific way, and that is over editing your photos. Now, for me, this happened over a period of about 2 to 3 months a couple years ago, and I look back on that not in the best light, and today I'm going to kind of show you some of those photos to show you what I mean and also how you can correct that in the future. Now, first off, why is over editing your photos bad? Well, we've all kind of seen them. The easiest way to describe it is it looks like a bad Instagram filter, and it just doesn't look right. It looks unnatural, and it actually makes the photo look worse than it would have if it were unedited. And in the case of the photos that I'm going to share with you guys, that is exactly the case. So let's jump in here. First off, there's a couple photos I'll pull up. I'm not going to be talking about the quality of the photos themselves, more so just the edit. A lot of these are actually once I kind of honed my skills in photography a little bit more, but I was still playing around on the editing side, and I am guilty of falling victim to these trends, and that is why these photos look the way they do. Now, I'm not necessarily proud of the way they look, hence why I'm actually making this right now, but I've seen a lot of people kind of fall down this hole, and I think that maybe I can keep you from going down the same path I had. So right off the bat, we have these two photos here, and on their own, they're actually fairly decent. There's a decent location. It kind of matches well with the wardrobe. But in the edit, I kind of obliterated it. I can't find a nice way to put it. I was very into yellow gradients at the time and trying to get some kind of teal orange look, but making it my own. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. That's what I'm saying. So you can see here. Now, the good thing is the wardrobe here matches well with the background. Now, had I known then what I know now, I would have gone a lot easier on this edit and make the model and the outfit pop out from the background more. But instead, I just kind of mashed them together so you couldn't tell where the outfit begins and ends and where the building begins and ends. And then you got the weird yellowy green gradient going over it. I thought I could act like, oh, there's like a faded thing from the sun. It just doesn't look good. Okay. Moving on from that, we have this guy here, which is all the models that I shot with at this time, I almost want to apologize to, because some of these photos, the edit kills it. There's so much green and weird, and I obliterated it. There's no other way to put it. I obliterated it. Now, here's the thing. The photo I'm about to show you is from the exact same shoot, and it's edited nicely. If I edited the rest of the photos like this right here, I don't know if I'd be making this video right now, because it's just a solid, clean edit, and that's what it should be. It's what it always should be, and I should have just stopped right there, but I wanted to take it as far as I could, and I certainly have learned my lesson for that. So now let's find a different shoot I did, just to give you more evidence of the weird yellow gradient that I put over everything to try and make it look sunny or something. Now, granted, this technique I'll use here and there in some of my photos now, but I use it with context and with purpose, not just willy-nilly trying to make everything look like it's glowing or something, and it just ends up not looking good at all. I don't recommend you do this. I've seen some people do it, and I don't recommend it. Okay. Now, there's this one, which it doesn't have any of that weird gradient, weird kind of orange and teal thing going on, but there's a lot of pink, and it just kind of throws all the skin tones for a loop, and I could have edited this so much better now. And some of you may be thinking, okay, yeah, sure, I mean, we've seen some of your work, maybe you can edit a little bit better, but you know what? I'm gonna put that to the test right now. So we have another photo here where I kind of just obliterated the skin, threw everything for a loop, gave it a weird tealy, kind of orange magenta vibe that just didn't make it look good. You can see here, I've created a group of all the different things I did to it, and you take the color balances off, and already it's looking a lot better. And then you take the whole thing off, and wow, it actually looks decent. It, like, the before and after going on here is insane. So, you know what, we'll just get rid of that group. And if we create a new stamp visible layer there, then we'll open up, just to do something quick and easy, we'll open up the camera raw filter, bring back the highlights so you get a bit more of that skin tone in there, open up the shadows just a bit, bring up that contrast, we'll warm it up just a tad, just a little bit, and let's see what the vibrance is going to do. You know what, I may actually drag that back just because we'll be adding in some of our own color. We'll throw a quick little S-curve on here, and then we get something kind of like that. Bring that up just a little bit. Don't want to go crazy here. Now the hue, saturation, luminance, I might bring the luminance down just a little bit so you get a little more detail in those skin tones. It's because they were a little blown out. And now we'll see what happens if we kind of warm up the shadows just a hair, and then we'll bring that guy over, make it more subtle. We do a little something like that. I think that's looking pretty good off the bat. And you can see we brought back a lot of that detail, gave it a bit more of a mood and a vibe, and it looks a lot more natural right away than what we did before with all the color balances and all that weird stuff that was going on. It actually looks a bit more of a balanced image. Now, that said, it is looking a little bit flat, so we'll just bring the whites up just a bit. We don't want to blow that skin out again, so we'll just bring it over just a little bit. You can see it doesn't do a lot, but it does enough. So if we start from the beginning of the shot, you can see it's very blown out, but where we get, it looks quite natural and is actually a fairly pleasing shot. There's nice highlight roll off and everything like that. It looks leagues better than it was before, and a lot of it is these kind of minute little details. Now, again, if I was editing this the way I do now, I'd take out some of the wrinkles in the pants and also get rid of some of them on the arms. But this is just to show you what I did then versus what I would do now, and how your editing kind of style changes over time. And to give you another example, we'll just grab this one here. We're out in a field of flowers. You can see again, in this shoot, there was a fair amount of overexposing going on at the time, but we won't deal with that too much. So we're just gonna open up the camera raw filter just to give a quick little rundown of everything here. Open the shadows a bit. And pretty much do the same thing we did to the last one. Except maybe we won't throw an S-curve on there. Maybe we will. That's just affecting the lips. There's the skin tone more. Bring it down just to a nice, more natural level. And you can see already that's looking leagues better. Now we want it to feel a little warm and sunny, so we'll only make it a little bit warmer, not a lot. Okay, I think that's looking good there. And you can see just minor tweaks and edits like that make a world of difference and end up looking a lot better than when you just absolutely go to town on an edit. It doesn't look clean, it doesn't look natural. But I am thankful that I kind of experienced this and got it out of the way quickly, because now I know to kind of stay away from trends and stick more so to my own personal style, and I know what that is, because it's almost as if in deviating from that, I ended up finding what I wanted to work towards anyways. So it did end up having its benefits. That said, if I learned to stay true to my style and avoid trends without absolutely obliterating those photos, then I definitely would have chose that option. And that's why I'm making this video for all of you right now, is to show you what I did wrong and how you can begin to notice that in your own work, and how you can stop yourself from going down this path that only gets you further from your goal in the long run. Now, in the moment, it was kind of difficult for me to identify when I was and when I wasn't over editing photos. But the advice that I've heard and what I would pass along to you is that after you're done a shoot and you start editing everything, just take a day or two and sleep on the photos. Just let them rest, let you rest, come back with fresh eyes, and usually you'll look back at the photos and take a second and breathe because you realize what you did, and then you'll kind of bring it back. Sometimes even now I'll have times where I'll start over editing, and then a couple hours later I'll come back, look at it, realize I've gone way too far, pull it back, or even if it's a little too far, pull it back and I'm good to go. I'm also fortunate in the way that this didn't flow over into my client work. All of that I was very kind of conservative with and didn't try to push this weird new style that I was coming up with, which is another thing to keep in mind. If you're trying out new editing techniques or anything of that variety, keep that for your own personal work, and your clients will be a lot happier for it, and you'll be a lot happier for it. Trust me. Now, with that all said, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, show that like button some love. Comment down below if you like this kind of thing, if you want to see more of it from me in the future. Subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.